purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to collect blood from a finger prick into a microtainer. The microtainer will be sent to the laboratory to be processed as dry blood spots and other required tests. The following special equipment and supplies are used in the collection, storage and transport of the microtainer. Plastic bags for biohazardous waste. These are small bags that are provided to hold all the biohazardous waste materials during the day. Note, these bags may not be used for the disposal of the lancet. Alcohol swabs. The alcohol swab is used to cleanse the participant's finger. The alcohol swab is for single use, hence may only be used on one participant. The safety lancet. The lancets being used are non-reusable. Hence, for safety reasons, the needle can only be used once. The lancet must not be disposed into the waste packet. The lancet may only be disposed of into the sharps container. Cotton wool. Used to wipe away the first drop of blood and stop the bleeding after the collection. The linen saver. The linen savers are to be placed on the work surface. Place the white absorption side facing up. It can be used for more than one participant provided that it is not contaminated. The sharps container. The sharps container is used for the disposal of the lancet only. Ensure that the guidelines for disposal are followed correctly. Hand disinfectant. For disinfecting the data collector's hands prior and post the DBS collection procedure. Gloves. Powder-free, latex-free gloves. Use the correct size depending on the hand size. One pair of gloves are to be used per participant. The EDTA microtainer. Blood will be collected into the EDTA microtainer tube. The tube is to be gently inverted 8 to 10 times to prevent the blood from clotting. Here we have the stress ball and the beanbag. These items will be used to assist the participant's blood flow. If you have a microwave, place the beanbag into the microwave for 1 minute and ask the participant to gently hold to increase blood flow. Here we have the HIV rapid test, which will be used for HIV analysis. Begin by assessing the participant's hands. Ensure that you check for any warts, cuts or bruises on the finger. The only fingers that should be used would be the middle finger and the ring finger. Ensure that the participant does not use any jewelry during the collection. Ask the participant to remove jewelry. Okay. Using the beanbag, ask the person to hold gently to increase the blood flow. Use the Hibitane to cleanse your hands. 2 to 3 squirts is generally sufficient. Put on a pair of new gloves and remember it is 1 pair of gloves per participant.
And should you be using powder or powder-free gloves?
Powder-free gloves.
Okay.
Open up the alcohol swab and discard the waste generated into the red waste bag. Cleanse the participant's finger. Ensure that you cleanse from the first line till the tip. Wipe away, turn over the alcohol swab and wipe for the second time. Ensure that you dispose the alcohol swab into the red waste bag. Open the lancet by gently rotating the lancet plug 360 degrees and dispose of into the sharps container. Ask your participant to stand to ensure that we have a good blood flow. Gently massage the participant's finger from the base to the tip and hold firmly at the tip to create a reservoir of blood. Place the lancet slightly off center. Ensure that you have a firm grip. Place the lancet slightly off center and immediately wipe away the first drop of blood. Thereafter, gently press and release the participant's finger to collect blood into the microtainer.
Now, does this work just as well with the baby?
For a baby under the age of 2, you will need to perform a heel prick.
Okay, so you do it on a heel. And you also milk the heel the same way?
No.
Or not milk, you just squeeze.
Ensure that you collect more than 500 microliters of blood per tube. Once you have collected the sample, place a cotton wool on the participant's finger and ask them to apply pressure and have the hand above the level of the heart. Immediately place the cap, press to lock, and invert the tube 8 times. One inversion is equal to a complete turn of the wrist back and forth. Remove the cotton wool and ensure that the participant's finger has stopped bleeding. Dispose the cotton wool into the red waste bag and place a band-aid on the participant's finger. The reason for this is to ensure that the finger does not bleed whilst we are performing the second finger prick. When performing the second finger prick, ensure that the participant's hand is warm. Do not start the finger prick if the hand is cold. Cleanse the participant's finger using the alcohol swab again, and remember, a new alcohol swab is to be used. Cleanse only the tip of the finger, turn over the alcohol swab and wipe again. Remove the lancet plug by turning the lancet plug 360 degrees. Create the reservoir of blood. Place the lancet slightly off center. Ensure that you have a firm grip. Gently prick and discard into the sharps container. Wipe away the first spot of blood and gently press and release the participant's finger. At no point during the collection are you allowed to milk the participant's finger. The only technique that you will use is the press and release. Ensure that the blood that you collect is above the 500 microliter line. After you have collected the participant's second container, place the cotton wool on the puncture site and again ask the participant to raise their arms. Immediately place the cap back onto the microtainer and invert the tube 8 times.
And why are you inverting it?
To prevent the sample from clotting.
And what will happen if it clots?
We would not be able to run the required tests.
Okay, so it's a very important thing to do.
Yes, very important.
And you must do it slowly.
Yes, the proper way to invert is just a gentle turn of the wrist. These here, or excessive turning will result in the sample bursting.
Okay.
Check the participant's finger to ensure that the blood has stopped, and place a second band-aid on the puncture site.
Now, what do you do if they don't bleed as proliferantly as I bleed?
You would have to conduct more than 1 finger prick per tube. So in essence, we could get up to 4 finger pricks from one participant to fill up the 2 tubes. We can use a bigger lancet. The bigger lancet is used for persons with thicker skin.
Okay.
So you've got to try using the smaller lancet. Only once you have failed using the smaller lancet can you use the larger lancet.
If you use the large lancet on someone with hands like mine that are quite soft?
It's going to be a bad experience. You are definitely going to injure somebody with thin fingers.
So you shouldn't be using it that?
No.
Should rather be warming the hands?
Definitely. If the hand is not warm, you are definitely not going to get that required sample.
Okay.
If the hand is not warm, do not start the collection. If you do the first finger prick and you see that the first finger prick is or not successful, then only will you move on to using the larger lancet. And by using the larger lancet, you will only have to do a further 2 pricks in order to obtain the blood.